a businesswoman, entrepreneur, philanthropist. Like, you are just all of the things, a force to be reckoned with. And before we get into like the meat of our conversation, I want to ask you, when you wake up in the morning, like, how do you introduce yourself? How do you identify? Because there's so many things.
You're so sweet. I wake up as Cece. That's my nickname. But I wake up, I guess, of course, feeling like mom, feeling like a wife, feeling proud to be both. I do feel like I'm going to go and attack the day. That's really my mentality. I'm always thinking about how can I attack the day and really rock it for myself and, make my, reach my goals and make it all happen. So, but I guess when I wake up, though, I don't wake up so much of like being the persona that people know me as. I just wake up, one, feeling really grateful and blessed to do that. And then, of course, again, like I say, my family, they're what drives me. And so I just wake up in that element. And I guess it's kind of, when I think about it, it's kind of fair to say that I really do wake up as mom, because literally the first thing I'm doing right now is I'm breastfeeding Win. And so he's right there. It's time to feed the baby.
There is no like Ciara the performer when you wake up, right? It's like, where's breakfast, mom?
Exactly. That part comes a little later. Kids come first in that moment.
Awesome. So you said, you're talking about your goals and all the things and showing up for yourself and for your family. Just kind of tell us, how are you doing? How are you doing on your wellness journey? How are you balancing it all?
Oh my goodness. Well, it's been really fun. I have to say, being a part of the Dub Dub Club has been super awesome and really easy, to be honest. And it's not stressful. It's not like I don't feel like pressure to reach my goal. Like I really feel it's just been, I've been having a good time in the whole process of it all. And now I have three children, as
Children.
I would say. And so, that's super hectic. That brings on, life is very eventful. It's nonstop. But as far as me reaching my goals, I feel like I've been, super motivated. And, being on having the WW program has been, it's just been amazing. Like I've been having a lot of fun, like literally finding ways to be creative. Also discovering how, there's many ways to eat the things. Like I can eat a lot of things that I want to eat, which
Yeah.
has been really cool. That takes the weight off. I
Yes.
think when you're trying to like achieve a physical goal or your fitness
Mhm.
goals and your wellness goals, when you have to follow like an intense regimen, it just kind of makes things feel like, oh, like you can feel a little stressful. And I've been
Right.
there before. But luckily for me, being a part of the Dub Dub Club and, finding ways to be creative, it's been really easy. And I will say did not get on the scale this morning because I woke up and I breastfed and I was running around with my kids. So the best time to weigh myself is the first time in the morning. So I'll do my weigh-in tomorrow. But
Okay.
I'm like basically at, I'd say 30 to 31 pounds at this point.
Oh,
Yeah, it is really cool.
it's
It's been
beautiful.
really fun. Um,
So,
and I was going to tell you something. What was I going to say about that? I'm saying that to say that it's crazy though, because, we go through these different phases as women in womanhood and on the journey. And I think for me in this phase, like, you find I've had different fitness goals and physical goals that I've wanted to get to, but in this stage, I feel like I don't know if I want to lose as much weight as I was trying to lose. It's really interesting. I'm trying to figure it out because I'm liking where I am. Like I'm liking it. I'm like, okay, there's little like, the perfectionist in me is like, okay, I got to make sure I get my abs down in. I got to make sure I get to the place that I like for me. But I'm like, I'm loving my curves and I don't want to lose. Like I actually want to,
yeah.
So I'm trying to figure it all out right now because I technically could have already reached my goal, but I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. So,
I love that, and that's so honest. And I'm thinking back to like one of the first conversations that we had, and you just said, you wanted to be strong and be able to like to live to perform the way that you needed to perform, to show up for your family, to do all of these things. And I think that, as we're on this wellness journey, it shifts and it looks different.
yeah,
Like you said before, previously, maybe it was like, I want to make sure I have all of my abs right where they're supposed to be. But
yeah.
now you're like, I just need to be the strongest that I can to continue to show up and do the things that I need to do.
Yeah, be the strongest I can. And, I think I'm probably the most confident and comfortable I've ever been in my skin, and I think that makes a big difference, especially for us as women, right?
Yes.
I've realized too, like, for me, your body, like, I'll just be honest, like after having a baby, your body probably will never be the same that it was like before any baby came in and shit,
Yeah.
the whole thing, the whole situation, but at the same time, I feel like I'm my best me. Like, I feel like I'm in the best place I've ever been. And there's no better feeling than that, than just really, being confident within myself, like embracing who I am, like truly loving who I am, where I am. And I just feel like you feel even more motivated. Like your motivation is just a little different when you're in that place. Like, that comfortable feeling with myself has been like game changing, right? And so now also when I'm trying to reach certain goals, it's really about sustainability. It's about, long term. It's truly about the long term pictures, not just living in the moment. And that's what's really cool about, being in the Dub Dub Club or being a part of the WW family, is that it's about big picture focus, right? And it's about total wellness, like being able to really dial into all of that is like next level for me. So it's not just the physical component, it's also educating myself in the process, knowing like, okay, how certain foods can affect my body, or, oh, I actually could eat this and this is okay. And it's like, it's all good, right? So there's all that going on.
So tell me where do you think that, where and how do you think that shift happened?
I think the shift happened. I definitely think I can contribute it to a phase that I think the phase of my life as a woman, I think there's kind of like, when you do self-reflecting and um, you know, look within yourself and you think about life. And then you also just take a moment to step back and like really take in life and where everything is. You start to realize, like, because when we're younger, I think we kind of put more pressure on ourselves. I don't know, I don't want to put it totally on timing, but I do think that as we're trying to like find our identities, as women, we sometimes like make things way more complicated than they have to be. And then you
Mm-hmm.
realize in life a lot of things that you sweat, or a lot of things that I used to sweat, like really don't matter, right? And so you start to kind of throw out the frivolous things, right? And like in life, I feel like for me, I've become even more focused and like intentional. And I just think that, with that mental approach, it's been game changing, and then, like I say, you start to realize like, hey, like it's all good. Like in my imperfections, it's still perfection. Like, so like having kind of like that, you know, mental understanding and like just like really tapping into that, I think has been game changing for me. And life has been taking a really cool shape. I feel really blessed for the simple things, and I think that's also something else that you really truly understand over time. I feel like I've always tried to stay humble and be appreciative, but as life goes on, things like us all experiencing the pandemic, you know, things like that, that was huge, right? And very humbling, I think, for everyone, like the whole world, right? I was like, okay, I'm like, what's the message we need to hear in this? Like, so it just little things put things in perspective. And I'm just really grateful just to wake up, just to
Yes.
have breath, right? For the simple things. So I think a lot of that understanding puts things in perspective for me.
Oh my God, Ciara, I love it. And I'm like getting like chills and goosebumps because you're all of those things, right? It's like where we are in the world, you're a mother, you're a wife, you have all of these different things. And you really do start to think about things differently and just say, and I would imagine, you want to also be a role model for your kids, right? And start to help them to understand how do you put your best foot forward with all things, but definitely with your wellness.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And our kids do look up to us. They do see our habits, like, our habits can pour over into our kids, and typically they do. So, I do think it's important for us to, to do our best when we're in front of them, especially because kids are very impressionable, right? They are, they become what they see, and then essentially in this case, and we put everything in context, like there's a saying, you are what you eat, and so it's so important that we feed ourselves with the right things, like from a food perspective, a mental perspective, like how are we, feeding ourselves there, like what are you doing to nourish your, not only your body, but your mind and your soul, like all of that matters. And I think the reality is for our kids though, our kids have way more access than we had. And so that's been a great I think it's going to be a great challenge along the way in their lives by, for us as parents, making sure we find the ways to keep things in perspective for them and to keep them humble and to keep them focused and, knowing that life isn't going to be handed to you. Right. And so, there's all of that to factor in. And, I hope that, I believe that, we're making a good example so far. I'm doing my best, and every decision I always make it with my family in mind, and so I think it's important for our kids to see, like, if you want it, you got to go get it, right? If you want to be great, you got to put the work in. If you want to, take care of your body, you got to make smart decisions. You got to make sure you're feeding it the right stuff, right? And so that balance is everything.
Love it. Love it. You are dropping so many different gems. So I know we don't have that much more time with you, but there are some questions that I definitely want to get to because I know everybody wants to know. So what are some of your favorite snacks now that you've moved into kind of this WW world and probably have a little bit more information about points and smart points and things like that?
Yeah, so some of my favorite snacks, I actually love, and I can still eat my peanut butter pretzels. The pretzels have a little bit of peanut butter in the middle, and I can't eat as much as I thought I used to be able to, but I can still eat them. So I'm really happy about that. Sometimes my chef will help me, like when I'm on the go, put together the package and be like, 3 points. This is the amount you have for your 3 points. I like my cucumbers and ranch dressing. There was this thing about like how ranch dressing was like, you can't really have it when you're trying to like eat healthy because there's a bit more fat in the ranch dressing, and it's just like your body processes it differently. And it's been fun being able to have snacks like that. It's simple, but it's really good. It gets the job done. And then I also have this new snack that I've kind of whipped together. It's ground beef with corn. And so it's like a little protein, a little bit of like, I mean, a little bit of that, like the sweetness in the corn. It's not like I'm doing something like crazy.
Yeah.
It's not crazy on the sugar side. My body burns and metabolizes, like it does really well with it. So that's like a little CC snack that I've kind of like whipped together. And so there's, I'm not too crazy on the snack side, I guess, but I also like kind of create my own snacks too sometimes. So yeah, a few things.
Love it. You guys heard it first. You heard Cece's newfound favorite snack. I'm sure there's going to be folks trying it.
I will tell you though, on that note though, what has been really fun is still being able to eat my burrito bowls. Still being able to have like, like one of my favorite meals, not snack, but favorite meals is my burrito bowl, where it will be ground beef, cauliflower rice, a little bit of corn, a little bit of guacamole.
You gotta have avocado.
Sour cream. Yes. And a little bit of salsa. But the cauliflower rice in the mix of it is lit. It's really good.
Game changer. Game changer.
Yes. You're not missing anything. You're not missing the rice. So that's really good.
Awesome. So again, you guys are hearing it, right? With WW, you can have all the things that you love, but it's just about how, right? And how often and how much. And, it's nothing that you have to like cut out. And again, that's just the beauty of